jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Yo, shout out to the hottest chat in the M effing game A side official. No negotiation needed, period. You already know WCS is the first in the building. Salute to the chat. What's good? Big Blunts and Boxing on deck in the building. What's good with it, Blunts? The News by Shaw News Sauce Experience in the building. Team Tucker official on deck. What's good with it? Mike is in the building. What's good? Salute. Stickin' Boys Fishing and Sports on deck. The OG Mr. Golden in the building. JD in the building. Salute to you. Let's get right down to it. I'm pretty sure y'all been paying attention to, the media as always. Not really any incredible topics that's out there. We still have a lawsuit that people are going to be talking about for weeks. You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney, Mr. Hiring Attorney, is on deck. But we heard news that Tank Davis is set to return in December. You know what I'm saying? And that in itself is a big deal. You know? He's going to be fighting Lamont Roach from a lower division, and Lamont Roach's belt is not going to be on the line. But Tank Davis' WBA title at 135 pounds will be. Okay? But let's talk about the thumbnail. I'm going to get back to the Tank. Baltimore Zone, a.k.a. El Chin Checker. I have to kind of speak on a sighting. It's not a bad sighting, depending on who you are and what you was expecting. Depending on who you are and what you was expecting. Depending on who you are and what you was expecting. I just had to put that in repeat because this fighter's fans, I don't know what to call it. I'm not sure where they're at, what they have going on, what their planning process is. But Errol Spence Jr., the former unified welterweight world champion, was cited out in public. I mean, this is not the first time we've seen him since July 29th, the T-Mobile Massacre 2023. But this kind of takes me back to prior to him that a crab leg fiesta, a buffet, and he seemed to be eating pretty good. This right here, hey, salute to Errol Spence. It's good to see you, man. Real talk, it's good to see you and everything. I have questions just like a lot of other people. You see what's on the table. I don't know who was actually chowing down on those flapjacks or pancakes or whatever. I don't know who actually poured the thick maple syrup with extra butter on there, but they seem to look delicious. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the restaurant they was out. It was a lot of leftover food. So that means they had some takeouts to go home to and snack on that shit later. You know what I'm saying? Snack on that later. It seemed like it was just a lot of food left over. But also what puzzled me, I'm not going to lie to you, something that puzzled me a bit was that we heard all these rumor mills about Errol Spence potentially coming back to fight Sebastian Fundora, and that has since just drifted off into the distance. It pissed me off because I really wanted to see the one and only Errol Spence Jr. return back to the square. But then this picture pops up that he's at a restaurant and they just have plates of food just out there, and it's nothing that pertains to what we saw on the epilogue last year. Like, I thought he would be getting ready for a fight. That's not a diet. That's not the meal of a champion. I mean, it's no way that he could be eating this type of food, man, and be anywhere close to returning back to the ring. You media cats out there, they're supposed to be dropping this news, man. Y'all need to stop with the bullshit. Y'all always leading people on. Why don't y'all get in contact with the camps? Why don't y'all get a point of contact for the camps if the camp ain't the one putting out the fake information? Y'all up here saying that, Fundora Spence is going to be here, there, and the other at the end of January. This guy's nowhere close to a gym unless he's at the stoplight. And the gym is over there to the left of the right flank. Errol Spence looked like he's enjoying life. His appetite is very, very hearty. Seems like he has a very hearty appetite. And I wanna give him some credit though. It looks like there's a container that's there right beside the cup. I wanna assume that it might be some carrots and zucchini in there, or there might be some yams. I don't know. It's an orange, like it looked like a veggie. And when I seen this picture, I said, you know what? What concerns me most, I don't see any vegetables on this plate. I don't see any vegetables. I don't see any of those nutritional, diet tips that I can lend somebody like Errol Spence to get him in shape. The diet is everything. I don't see those nutritional freaking facts out there on that table. Now, I like the old school picnic cloth. It gives me outside vibes. It gives me picnic. You know what I'm saying? It gives me all those summer type vibes that we used to go picnicking back in the day. But this right here, you know what I'm saying? Half of those pancakes eaten. Then it looked like Errol Spence has some smothered pork chop, melted cheese with mushrooms and gravy. Whew. And he had some seemed like some fried potatoes with cheese and some bacon bits on top of it. Sounds delicious. And over there, out of sight, I don't know what to make of that. Maybe, I don't know. I want to say some strawberry waffles. Waffles with strawberry on top. A funnel cake. It might be a funnel cake. Strawberry funnel cake with extra powdered sugar on top. But anyway, it seems like the meal was delicious. My only concern and my only gripe about this is they were saying that Errol was going to come back in 2025. But if he's eating this way heading to October, he's going to be eating the same way in November and December. So I'm not sure when he planned on burning off these calories, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's just play, Matlock, McGruff the crime dog, Sherlock Holmes. Let's just play a little game. What if, with further investigation, Spence just was walking by a table that they haven't cleaned off yet, and he just sat down for a picture just to throw people off? What if he doesn't really, truth be told, look like he's weighing 200 pounds? Maybe that, you know what I'm saying, this photo has been imposed, and he's really in better shape than that. Let's just say maybe him leaning back in the chair, somebody said, "Hey man, just look like you've been here the whole time and you had a nice meal, your belly's full, and man, you ain't going nowhere near a bag except it's the one to take out my leftovers so I can eat them later at the house." That's the only bag he looking for. Maybe he did that. Maybe he's fooling us all, bro. Maybe Spence has been in the gym trying to figure it out, because that looked like a lot of leftover food. Funnel cake, pancakes, smothered pork chops. You know what I'm saying? Look like that gravy sauce, that cream of gravy sauce on top or whatever. I don't know, but it looks delicious. I see another black man in the background. Now I'm thinking that may be a breakfast soul food type joint. And you know how they get down. It looks delicious though. But I just wanted to bring this to y'all attention. Once again, WCS need to put on notice to Errol Spence fans that really haven't shown any type of sense of urgency to get him motivated and hungry. No, 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 stop. I'm not talking about that hungry that you see over there. I'm talking about hungry enough to get back in the gym and find another trainer so we can see him back in the ring. If you're retired, please just let your fans know that you're retired. Just do us that one favor. Just let us know you're retired. Because I was really looking forward to see Spence return for Fundora. I wanted him to win. I want to see the Crawford Spence too. I do. I want to see this Crawford Spence too. I really wanted to see that. But looking at this picture right now, I'm damn near seeing two Spences. I mean, goddamn it, he keep on eating. He really is gonna have two Spence. One's gonna fight the first 6 rounds, and the other one's gonna fight the last 6 rounds. They're never gonna be able to tell the difference. Seriously. They're never gonna tell the difference. I mean, I see his hair has grown. He has on some nice shades. But dude is enjoying life, man. I ain't mad at you, Spence. I'm just concerned. You know, rather than your fans, they don't give a fuck about you. I'm really concerned. I want you to get back in the gym. I want you to goddamn, show that you still want to be a part of professional boxing. What happened, man? You had a rematch clause. You had everything that you needed, man, to return back and let the fans know that July 29, 2023 was a fluke. And that you learned from that fight, and now you know what to do. All I wanted you is to get back in the gym and come back and show the world that you can be champion in the second division. And then possibly set yourself up to face the very same guy who rendered you your first loss. That's all I want, people. I'm going to leave that right there, man. It's nothing wrong with having a breakfast of champions. There's nothing wrong with that champion being Errol Spence Jr. You know what I'm saying? I think his next hashtag should be hashtag eat up. You know what I'm saying? Eat up. He had the big fish. Fish is a dish. Maybe he was telling you something. You know what I'm saying? He was fish, but during the epilogue, we see him eating guacamole burgers. Hashtag strap season. I want it to be strap season again, but you have to get back in the ring for it to be strap season. Hashtag the truth. The truth is, you're nowhere close to the gym. I'm going to be honest with you. You're nowhere close to the gym, buddy. Nowhere at all close to the gym. I'm going to remove that, and we're going to do a reset, okay? I don't want anyone getting upset at what I just had on the screen or anything like that. But that was Errol Spence Jr. He was enjoying a nice, wholesome breakfast. I'm gonna guess what the calorie count on that table was. I'm looking at about. I say I'm not gonna over exaggerate it. I say I'm looking at about 17,000. Yeah, 17,000 calories based off what I was able to witness and what I assume is off camera. Due to what I've already seen and what his liking may be, you know, yeah, 17,483. Some to that. Yeah. So aerosexuals, do me this one. I'm being genuine about this. Please render aid to your fighter. Aerosexuals, get on the horn. Go into the DMs. Reach out to him and show him that you freaking care. That's all I want you to do. Show him that you freaking care, man. I don't like to see this, man. Y'all was all talking about arrow, and then y'all not even out there just showing love, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let's transition to Gervonta Davis. Tank, aka El Chin Checker, his own record is set to defend against Lamont Roach December 14th. You know what I'm saying? The highlight reel himself is on his way back to the square circle. Boxing News 24, Chris Williams. Yes, you know Chris Williams. You've heard him before when I was reading his articles. That's the Crawford hater. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Crawford hating ass Williams. You know what I'm saying? Let's read one of his articles. They say the World Boxing Association had granted WBA super featherweight champion Lamont Roach permission to move up to lightweight to challenge Gervonta Davis for his 135-pound title on December 14th. According to the WBA, if Roach defeats Tank Davis, he have 5 days to decide whether to keep his super featherweight title or the lightweight belt. If Roach loses the fight, he'll have 120 days to defend against his WBA super featherweight official challenger. So does Lamont Roach come out with a benefit? 120 days? You know what I'm saying? That's a long time, right? I mean, boxers look forward to having at least an 8-week camp, right? So what's 120 days consist of? That's only 4 months. So let's look. I'm about to break some shit down now. He has 120 days to defend his WBA super featherweight title. Now for Lamont Roach, he's going in here against El Chinchek out of Baltimore, Gervonta Tank Davis. You're telling me that once he loses this fight, because he's losing, once he loses this fight, he have 120 days, which is 4 months, to defend against his super featherweight challenger. Not only that, y'all, check this out. Gervonta Tank Davis, just a little secret, he's been known to knock fighters out. So you know well as I do people, what happens when you're knocked out as a fighter? They suspend you. So you're talking about fighters who get suspended for being knocked out cold, right? So it's a difference in suspension. If the referee stops it, I'm giving you some game now. If the referee stops it, vice him being knocked out cold, it's a shorter suspension. You feel me? So therefore, I don't expect Lamont Roach to be flatlined by Tank. I'm serious. I don't think it's going to happen. Now, I believe the referee is going to give Tank the benefit of the doubt, Roach the benefit of the doubt to fight it out. Now, if Roach get in too much trouble to the point where the referee deems it necessary to halt the action and close the night, he'll do it. But when you see something like this, 120 days, and you're trying to tell me, based off history, that if Roach goes in there and get knocked out cold by Tank, he's not getting suspended, he's getting suspended. So that to me says, I'm curious as to how this fight is going to play out. Because yes, it's good that Roach is coming up there from the super featherweight division, which is 130 pounds. But he's going to get destroyed in there against Tank. I'm just saying. I know. Look, the only way that he doesn't get destroyed is the fact that he has to defend his title in 120 days, and Tank respects that and goes in there and give him a little bit of rounds, and you know what I'm saying. It's a holiday season. You know, give him a little bit of carry on. You know what I'm saying? Complimentary tickets to make it to round the round before he closes them out. That's all I'm saying. It says Roach, 25 1-1, 10 knockouts, will be permitted to retain his WBA 130-pound title while moving up to challenge Gervonta, 30-0, 28 knockouts, for his belt at lightweight with that sanctioning body. It goes on to say the WBA allowing Gervonta Davis to cherry pick fighters from the super featherweight division to defend his lightweight belt against is blatantly unfair to the contenders at 135. It undermines the sport by allowing champions to prolong their reign artificially by carefully selecting weak opposition from the weight class below where they're competing. Tank passed defenses against hand-picked 130-pounders, Hector Garcia, Leo Santa Cruz. So you see right here where Chris Williams is bringing up, old fights. So let's go to the ranking system at 135 pounds, right? Because you have to look at it also in perspective that who does the fight fans want to see? Okay? William Cepeda, he's been, in the conversation, ranked number one across the board in every sanctioning body. But I believe he has a fight coming up, wherever that sanctioning body at. I don't know for sure. Okay? We have Muratala, but he's not ranked. I'm just talking about some names supposed to be standing out in the lightweight division. Let's go strictly to the WBA. You have Floyd Schofield. You have Edwin De Los Santos. You have Andy Cruz. And I'm stopping right there. Once again, I say when it comes to the ranking system, it's like going to a community pool and the entire depth is just like that of the kids' pool, the little baby pool. It's not even a foot deep in some of these ranking systems. Now, would they want to see Floyd Schofield? Yes, fans would like to see Floyd Schofield go in there. Would they like to see Edwin De Los Santos? Not so much. Not so much. You know what I'm saying? So he's ranked number 3 behind Schofield. What about Andy Cruz? Nobody wants to see Andy Cruz just yet. Nobody wants to see him. He's creeping up, but no one wants to see him go in there and get obliterated by Gervonta Davis. So why not reach back down at another division, 130 pounds? That's if that's if Gervonta Team Davis selects to do so at 130 and fight a champion, because Lamont Roach is a legitimate champion and his belt is not on the line. So it allows Lamont Roach to step in there with the champion like Gervonta Davis and fight. Now, also I'm gonna mention this to you. We've seen Canelo do it plenty of times. Canelo sit up here and pick and choose who he wants to fight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what's the difference of a freaking Tank Davis fighting an opponent a weight class below? What's the difference? Canelo fought Triple G. When Triple G fought Canelo in the trilogy, wasn't he 160 pounder? Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Let's go to Hector Luis Garcia. Tank fought him last year in January. Let's even go back to Leo Santa Cruz, who Chris Williams mentioned. He fought Leo Santa Cruz during the pandemic in October. I just want to lay those details out because Chris Williams can be a legitimate certified badged hater. Okay? The article goes on to say this fight, viewed as a business one, as Roach is from Washington, D.C., and Tank Davis from Baltimore. Fans from the area of the East Coast will purchase tickets in huge numbers and it's likely to be a sellout wherever the match is staged. Now we're talking about Tank looking out for a fighter over by his way. Now, don't you find it a very strategic business move? Doesn't it make sense now? You know what I'm saying? It may be coming from a lower weight class, but it's not like we haven't seen Canelo fight somebody from a lower weight class, i.e., Mel Charlo. Didn't he fight him from a lower weight class? It's nothing that's unfounded. It happens all the time. Fighters step up and fight people from lower weight class. They wasn't talking when Naoya Anui stepped up and fought Stephen Fulton. Nobody wasn't saying anything because he was the undisputed champion at bantamweight. Nobody wasn't talking. Nobody wasn't talking about Jesban Rodriguez moving up and fighting Carlos Kudras and Sor Rungfasai and beating their ass and then vacating and moving back down. So it happens. It happens, yo. We see it all the time. Isaac Cruz moving up to fight Roller Romero. It happens. You feel me? It happens, yo. Devin Haney fighting Regis Prograis. It happens. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. It happens all the time. So the haters that's been out there criticizing Tank for fighting Lamont Roach, it's been plenty other fighters that fought fighters from lower weight classes when they was coming up. Errol Spence Jr., Mikey Garcia. If I must continue to remind you all, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It happened. I'm just putting it out there. It has happened. It's nothing new. The article goes on to say the fight is also an easy one for Davis, who won't put himself at risk of punishment like he would if he fought one of the contenders that fans would prefer to see him against. Let's talk about one of the contenders. Shakur Stevenson, he had hand surgery. So Tank is not going to wait on the sideline for Shakur Stevenson to get off the bed and go and get cleared to hit and, go full all in on full sparring. He want to stay active. He want to get back in the ring, make a check. It goes on to say there's more of a demand for Davis 29 to defend his WBA belt against Edwin De Los Santos, Floyd Schofield, William Cepeda, Raymond Mortala, and Keyshawn Davis. Now, that is a solid list of names without the Andy Cruz. I mean, without the which one did I say? Edwin De Los Santos. I'm not sure about no Edwin De Los Santos. I'm not sure. Seriously, I'm not sure about an Edwin De Los Santos just because, you're talking about a guy who was dropped by Jose Valenzuela, but now he's fit to step in the ring with Gervonta Davis. I'm just saying. And then, check this out. And then, no knock on Floyd Schofield, but he didn't get the call up. A lot of people would have liked to see that. But what did they mention? You're talking about a Washington, D.C., Lamont Roach. We're talking about packing the house, putting butts in the seat and all that. Good for the consumers. Good for the local fight fans. What about Keyshawn Davis? Keyshawn has a fight coming up already. He's locked in his hometown. You know what I'm saying? He has a fight locked in Virginia in his hometown. You know what I'm saying? And his brother's making his professional debut. It says it's not a popular decision with the fans for Tank Davis to be defending against Roach for these reasons. Step down from Gervonta's last two opponents. Gervonta can't win when it comes to this guy, Chris Williams. You know what I'm saying? He can't win. Because when we look at Gervonta's last two opponents, it's Frank Martin and Ryan Garcia. So therefore, it's a step down for Gervonta's last two opponents, which is correct. But yet and still, Shakur Stevenson is injured. Who else does he need to fight? Who else was available? Didn't Lomachenko turn down the fight because he didn't want to know what it feel like to be a spokesperson for Ambien? Then he turned down the fight. When Lomachenko hold the word, hey, you want to go and fight Tank? He started speaking in his damn country language. He started speaking Russian. Huh? Yeah, yeah. He couldn't speak English no more. He's like, translator, huh? No, name, my translator, no here. I gotta go. He couldn't speak English. Number two, not well regarded by fans. Fight fans, to include Chris Williams, are always gonna have criticism and critique about fighters, man. Boxing fans will never be satisfied. Never. They'll never be satisfied on who they think should be fighting and when they should have fought and why they fighting right now. Number three, weaker puncher. So, who are we talking about weaker puncher? We talking about Edwin De Los Santos? Because Keyshawn Davis is not a knockout artist. Edwin De Los Santos is not a knockout artist. You know what I'm saying? William Cepeda is not a knockout artist, even though he has, a good amount of knockouts. Floyd Schofield is not a knockout artist. So how do you consider Lamont Roach a weaker puncher? Because he's coming up from 130 pounds. Number four, struggled against past Tank KO victims Hector Garcia. Listen, that was a good fight between Lamont Roach and Hector Garcia. But last time I checked, Hector Garcia was dropped, didn't he? Didn't Hector Garcia get dropped? It surprised the shit out of me, yo. It's almost like he took over the Chris Colbert ghost. Real talk. It's almost like Hector Garcia was cursed by the ghost of Colbert. He got jinxed by the ghost of Colbert, y'all, when he stepped in there with Roach. Lamont won that fight fair and square. It was a tough battle. It was a good back and forth. Kind of gave me the Caleb Plants McCombie, type vibe. But Roach went in there and did what he had to do. It says calculated matchmaking for Tank. See, now it's calculated. When Canelo is matching up with fighters we don't give a fuck about seeing, they don't mention anything about calculated matchmaking. But now it's Tank. All of a sudden, it has to be, the package has to be sent up to higher authority, and the government needs to get together and have a Senate meeting, a House meeting, and speak on it and see if everybody approve of it. It says few fans on social media understand why Tank is choosing to defend against Roach, a fighter from 130 pounds, rather than one of the top contenders at 135 pounds. However, this is how Davis has been matched his entire career. So Chris, the hater, is always focusing down when he is on his home keys. When he's molesting these characters, you can guarantee he's going to be mad about something. Maybe it's the sugar high. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these writers, they just be sitting in a room full of freaking Twinkie rappers and shit. You know what I'm saying? Tootsie Roll rappers everywhere. Empty soda cans. It might be his sugar high was coming down. It goes on to say, his management has carefully maneuvered him, calculated, avoiding risk and focusing on sure thing fights. Davis would be more popular if he fought better opposition, but he had sustained a lot of damage along the way. Chris Williams act like he's been to Uptown Gym, and he was over Baltimore covering, Tank. If Tank choose to, break down his opponent patiently, every opponent is different, of course, then that's how he fights. But to say that a fighter who is a highlight reel, and he does provide you that moment to stay tuned in and with a keen sense of attention to his fights, because people want to know when he's going to get that knockout. People are going to know how is it going to come, just like Frank Martin. They want to know how the knockout is going to look. How's Tank going to set it up? Yeah, he can say calculated, but every matchmaking is calculated. These cats ain't going out here when you a big name like Tank and just saying, let's just go pick anybody. Let's go pick anybody in the ranking system. Not to mention, I don't know if this guy has checked and see the last time a fighter had fought. Is that fighter lined up with another fighter, in that division? Being that William Cepeda is ranked in every sanctioning body at the top. You have to take that in deep consideration of fighters that are at the top, holding that championship tier, but don't want to fight Tank. Shakur can't. Lomachenko, he didn't want to. And Baranchik, I'm pretty sure he just want to wait to whoever that fight. He just picked up the title. He just want to, wait and see, who's next. He don't want to lose his title already. And to be honest, like I tell you before, Tank is not really interested, in my opinion, of collecting titles, because him and his team has proven that they don't mind being a champion. They don't mind being a champion, but they're not trying to pay no 3% sanctioning fee and give up extra money to these sanctioning bodies who don't give a fuck about them. That's facts, bro. When they elevated Tank to the WBA Super, he's like, man, I don't want that shit. I'd rather stay the WBA regular champion. I don't want that. I don't need that belt. But they did anyway. They elevated him. So you know how it goes from there. Y'all know how it goes, man. Tank don't care about that bullshit, man. He just care about, continuing to solidify his legacy. Hold on for a second. Continue to solidify his legacy and put on fireworks, going in there, rioting the crowd. And when it comes time for him to fight another big name, he would do that. But right now, he's making real good money, and he ain't trying to give it to no damn sanctioning bodies. I don't think he really gives a damn about becoming unified, undisputed at 135. Not from what I see. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what's going on over here at the chat. D-Ray live on the drive. What's good with it, D-Ray? How you feeling, brother? Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more in the building. Salute to you, OG. Shout to G5 Gabe in the building. TWT on deck. What it do with your brother? AC Brooklyn on deck. What's good with? I see you in the building. Trick Noti, the Oracle on deck. What it do, Trick? How you feeling, man? Said good evening, WCS. Just tuning in for a bit. Spence looked like he just sitting at the buffet table. I mean, he looks like he ate till he got tired. Hey, I didn't want to say anything about, him eating and looking relaxed, but you know how it is when you have a good breakfast, yo. That itis, bro, that itis, you know how brutal that itis is something serious, man. You go in here and have a hearty. Spence had a hearty breakfast. You know what I'm saying? All the calories that you needed for that itis to kick up on you, bro. He does seem like he's relaxed. You know what I'm saying? All the maple syrup, the high sugar intake, the cheese, you know what I'm saying? Everything he had. It looked like he was at a nice joint, though. The food looked good, I ain't gonna lie. And I know it tasted even better once they pulled it out, about an hour later and heated up in the microwave at the crib. And, snack, went for round 2. You know what I'm saying? What's good? Hey, I got family in UK. Shout out to Blue Hustle in the building. What's good with your brother? I see you on deck. So this is my take on Tank, though. I like that he's returning back to the ring before the year's out. I do. because I want to see him go in there. If it's Lamont Roach, it's Lamont Roach. I'm not going to talk about what I'm tired of hearing, but it's come repetitive when people want to criticize certain fighters for contending against names that they don't want to see. But if you take a panoptic view of the divisions in boxing, the ones that's really popping, it's not going to give you that big list of names that you get happy for, that makes you smile. It's just not there. We don't have it, bro. We don't have it. Boxing is going through a freaking period right now, literally. I'm talking about boxing is about to go through a cycle. That's the period I'm talking about. You have a whole lot of transitioning going on. Man, 2024 was okay, marginal year in boxing, to be honest with you. Imagine what 2025 is going to be like. You have all these shuffling going on, fighters leaving this promotion, signing with the other promotion, and trying to line this fighter off of that fighter. You have a lot of things moving and grooving, but it's not like for 2025, we have a huge fight set. Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois. They was, we talking about Anthony Joshua that sit up there and knocked out Francis Ngannou 0-1 for $20 million. And people hyping it up. He goes in there with Daniel Dubois and get exposed for the $20 million knockout that was fake. He got destroyed. So that ended up being a bummer for the Anthony Joshua fans. Daniel Dubois is going to have to maintain that. But what we did like was Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. That right there was a hell of a good fight. But we're talking about an annual sport, and we're talking about a packed schedule of fights. And it just wasn't that continuous lineup that we was looking for. Yes, it was good to see Crawford go in there and get the job done with Madrimov and pick up those titles. But then in the aftermath of where he's set to go after that is where the bullshit kind of clouds and saturate and soil our interest when it comes to what our expectation and excitement should be moving forward. Now they saying that Crawford and Fundora has 30 days, to try to figure this out. They have 30 days to figure it out, purse bid. Now all of a sudden Fundora's manager is talking about we want the Crawford fight. When Samson was up here just dogging Crawford out. And then, they put Fundora in a predicament. He was on record as saying he want to fight Crawford. But his people was up there, going against the grain with Crawford, talking about Spence. They end up finding out Spence is not healthy enough, a no shape to get back in the ring with Fundora. It just gave him free promo for these idiots to sit up here and think, oh yeah, Spence Fundora, they blocking Crawford. Who is the dummy once again? That's one thing I realized in 2024. They was idiots in 2023, and they just straight up dumb when it came to 24. Because they could have looked at Spence when he hopped in the ring after Fundora's win of Tim Tszyu, and they could have said to themselves, you know what, based off him not having a trainer and him not being in another gym, he ain't going to be able to drop that weight anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? Because they were saying that Spence was going to come back in November. They was up here laughing, hee and ha and talking about, how he blocked Crawford from the fight. And I was like, what the fuck, man? What is going on with this schoolground mentality? Why don't they want to see a fight happen? We're talking about pound for pound, top of the heap. I wanted to see Spence. But Crawford made the comment that he looked like he a linebacker or something like that. So you're saying to yourself, based off history, WCS has put it out there. If the fight was in Texas, he'll be able to, get that weight down, if you know what I mean. Then come to find out, he's not even up next to fight Fundora. It's Crawford. So now Spence is out of the equation. I don't know what he has going on. After Crawford goes in here and stops Fundora, um, will we get a Crawford Spence? I wouldn't want that fight, to be honest. Since Spence is out of the equation, and the convo with Sebastian Sebastian Fundora, I think he needs a tune-up because the aerosexuals sit up here and hype up seeing a fight with Crawford, but if Crawford has another fight, and then they start talking about, excuse me, Mister, I don't need a tune-up, and go back in there and try to fight Crawford, and Crawford stops him again, he's gonna get no credit. He's just gonna have Spence looking crazy, 28-2, going in here trying to fight Crawford without a tune-up. So aerosexuals, I'm giving you the material. I'm giving you what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? That should be your concern and your priorities. Bulletize them motherfuckers how you see fit. I don't see how y'all abandon somebody that hate on Crawford, but yet y'all won't even return to help him get back into the motherfucking gym. Y'all was up there hyping up Diddy James. Hype. He's this, that. He's trainer of the year. He's awarded and he's a certified. And then comes find out he wasn't getting paid his money. Y'all left. Y'all spent all that fucking time building up your catalog off Crawford. But now Spence is not even set to fight Fundora. I don't like that shit, y'all. 2024 has been wild for the wrong reasons, people. Real talk. 2024, when it comes to boxing, it's been wild for the wrong reasons. Facts, man. It's been wild for the wrong reasons. And then those individuals that are still feeling some type of way about that equation, they're not even doing anything except the same thing that got his ass kicked the first time. They continue to talk shit about the wrong fighter. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot more that you could be talking about. Let's try to see if any of the Charlos can come back. Let's try to build up the welterweight division. Why? Boxing, content creators, we need to talk about the welterweight division. I guess those individuals was wetting their diaper and shit. You know what I'm saying? Peeing all over the place like they ain't potty trained because they didn't get in their way again. Jaron Ennis was the topic of the conversation. It's a fighter that they want to get behind so bad. They went on a whole rampage of trying to say, oh, Brian Norman, duck. But have you heard anything else about the welterweight division? That's who y'all need to put your focus on too. You know what I'm saying? That's who they need to put their focus on. But the crazy part about it, they did what they had to do and found out the fight wasn't happening. Now they just waiting for him to step in the ring. You can't become a superstar like that unless you Tank Davis. And Tank Davis, he just started jumping off the radar and chilling in between fights. Usually, he was on the big screen. But now you're looking at these fighters like Ennis. If it's in between fights, you don't hear shit from him. And then potentially Brian Norman may be hurt, so he might be off the card. He might be off Keyshawn's card in Virginia, which is a nice card to be on, to be honest. So like I always say, we got 35. I don't know what the fuck going on with 40. You can ask Tio about that. He's the lineal champion down there. And there ain't shit going on down there. But yet he want to clout chase Crawford and be a sideline cheerleader. So y'all content creators, put your focus on 140 a little bit. 47. 54 right now is about to be the hottest. Especially when we figure out who's going to be this unified champion when Crawford go in there and stop Fundora. I say Fundora, look, I'm going to say Fundora probably gets stopped around 8 or 9. You know what I'm saying? I think he'll get stopped around 8 or 9. Just for compliments. just as a courtesy. Because look, it's hard enough for Crawford to get a fight, but he shouldn't go in there and just close out Fundora too early. You know what I'm saying? He shouldn't close him out too early because the fans, they'll sit up here and talk that shit, but carry him a little bit, like luggage. Carry him a little bit and pick up that belt, and then it's home free home. You know what I'm saying? On that last title, whether it's Tim Zoo or motherfucking whoever. So 54 about to be jumping. Y'all put y'all emphasis on 160. We just seen a travesty. Danny Garcia came in there acting like he still had quicksand on his motherfucking shoes and the shit was hard. And he was trying to get somebody to goddamn wipe this. No, we can't do nothing till after the fight. Looked like his legs was barely able to move, like he aged from the dressing room to the ring. Erislandy Lara, 56 and a half years old. He went in there, boxing like he was in his 20s. 60 needs some help. 60 needs some life when it comes to, what it is. And then 68, that's the political division right there. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk about the election. Politics are all up in that division. We already know politics are all in that division. As long as Prima Donna Nello is up there, it's just politics all over the place. And we really don't have a lot going on except in the heavyweight division. I mean, we got the Undisputed happening in 75. We do. But what's going to happen after that? Once we establish, what's going to happen? Is it going to be a rematch? You know what I'm saying? Is David Benavidez is going to get his shot? Who knows? I don't fucking know. But let me bring this up. Somebody said this on IOTBA's freaking live, which made a lot of freaking sense, right? Damn, who said that shit? Let me see who said that. I think it was Toby. I think Toby may have said it. Yeah. He was talking about Turkey Al-Sheikh, right? So you know how I mentioned that 2024 was like a marginal year for boxing? I think Toby put it out there that, yeah, Turkey Al-Sheikh is making fights, but it's who he wants you to fight. And look, check this out. I was just thinking to myself, right? Going back to the Al Heyman, you know what I'm saying? Overall one-stop shop, turnkey type of goddamn premier boxing champions that's not even a promotion, first of all. But it made me think that if Turkey Al-Sheikh is getting people to fight who he wants you to fight, is he the matchmaker and the promoter? Is he violating and stumping on the Ali Act? Does it even pertain to him unless he come over here to the States and put on a match? You know what I'm saying? Because that is true. He want fighters to go over there and fight who he want. And look, and it does make a lot of sense, but it's not like it doesn't happen over here. I mean, promotions, the matchmakers put together who they want the fighter to fight, right? But we have ranking systems more so we go off over here some of the time. Over there in Turkey Al-Sheikh, yeah, he'll put a card together, and it's pretty much strictly based off who he wants you to contend with. It don't have nothing to do with nothing. All right, they might be in the ranking system, they may not. I mean, just look at it. Francis Ngannou, Anthony Joshua, 0-1 Ngannou. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm hearing that Conor McGregor, right? Check this out. I wasn't going to talk about it, but I'm hearing, out here on the news that Conor McGregor and Terrence Crawford name is coming up. I want to save that to a whole nother live because I just don't want to talk about something that's just a balloon that I'm watching floating around. I'll say, okay, all right, somebody must have a little birthday party or something. Shit. And that balloon didn't make it all the way up to the Welkin. But I've been hearing Terrence Crawford, Conor McGregor. I have my opinion if that fight was ever to happen. All I have to say is people can't sit up here and complain about it just because it's Crawford if that is indeed has any validity to it. The reason being, because we just saw Anthony Joshua fight Francis Ngannou. The Conor McGregor that fought Floyd Mayweather, that was so long ago, and they made millions off that fight. Guess what just happened with Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou? Millions, dog. Millions. They made millions with him going in there with an 0-1 fighter. I'll say that for another day. Golden said, I heard that Mel was next. I don't know if it's true. Next for who? Next for who? Next for who? Because Crawford and Fundora is going into purse bid. So you have to basically formulate everything that's included at 154 pounds. We have Jermell Charlo, wherever he's coming from, the track, shot put, pole vault, and we have Fundora, who is an active reigning champion at 154 pounds. He would more so be in line, since he holds the WBO championship, to face Crawford. Now, I'm pretty sure Jermell Charlo is, the champion in recess, so he's going to fight somebody. But I wouldn't say that Bud Crawford is going to be next. Who he's supposed to be fighting that Golden? Because I heard that he's supposed to be returning, but I don't see him inserting himself in that equation with Crawford and Fundora. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. No, I don't see him getting no shot at no Fundora. And look, anything can happen in boxing. But why would they put out there they have 30 days for the purse bid if supposedly Mel Charlo is making a return? How? How is that even relevant? I agree, Blunts. He said Mel should fight Virgil, for the WBC interim belt. I believe he definitely should fight somebody else other than inserting himself into the Crawford-Fundora equation. The Crawford-Fundora equation is much more important when it deals with legacy. And also, it basically ties down another step in the undisputed process of Terrence Crawford. Because that's really what this is all about, to be honest. It's all about him becoming a 3-division undisputed. Don't get me started. Yes, we want to see that. We want to see that. We want to see it. Now, as for Jermell Charlo, the hater, the one who was always bitching and whining and complaining, I don't care who he fights when he get back. You know what I'm saying? He can fight JoJo the Wino. If JoJo passed medicals, he has a boxing license, you know what I'm saying? And he left the sport and his record was 0-5, and they want to throw Jermell Charlo in there for a tune-up, before cool, fight JoJo the Wino. I'm cool with it. Because when Crawford was calling his ass out, he was just bitching and whining. I just learn how to sit down and be the challenger. And shut up. Take less money. He didn't want to give that man no plays, yo. And I wouldn't mind seeing Crawford on his last fight after he's completed the 3-division undisputed. I wouldn't mind seeing him fight, Jermell Charlo in a grudge match. I wouldn't mind seeing that shit. I wouldn't mind seeing it. Straight up. You probably ask me, who would I like to see more? Him fight Errol Spence, him being Crawford, him fight Jermell Charlo after he unified the 154-pound division. I'm still going to go with Errol Spence. Real talk. That's who I'm going to go. I'm still going to go with Errol Spence because, the history of them fighting already. And for all his fans who say the 154 is the end all be all, goddammit. They said the fight is at 154, things change. That's what they said, y'all. That's what they said. If the fight is at 154, we're talking about a whole nother fight. Well, goddammit, why don't you get off your black ass, stand up, and say, you know what, Errol? We're going to show up to your goddamn place. We're going to goddamn tell you how much we love you, Arrow. We're going to be out there singing Kumbaya with our phones. You know what I'm saying? With the flashlight on our phones. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna motivate you to get out the bed. And then maybe, just maybe if you're lucky, Errol Spence stand up and stand by the window and lift it up. Hey, thank y'all. I appreciate that. I'll be back later. Now, chicken boy, fight. I want y'all to do that. Show presence. Okay, show your presence and loyalty. You did to Crawford. You showed your loyalty to Crawford. You was up here making a video on him every fucking day. Show your loyalty to Spence. Get him back in the game. I want to see that brother back in the square, man. Why y'all just abandon him, man? Like a stepchild. Y'all was all on Spence, but y'all showed love to Crawford. I'm a fan of the sport, not the fighter. You a fan of motherfucking Crawford? Because a lot of you niggas got damn 50 plus videos up here about, oh, this, that, and the other before July 29th. And then after that, you try to take a little break and then come back with some hate. Take a little break and come back with some hate. Take a little break and come back with some hate. And then you start to come back with the hate when he jumped in the ring front door and say, oh, now you ready to fight the big dog. And stand him up, knock him down, slide him on. You know, they said, oh, he cock blocked Crawford. Yay! Yay! And then Pink Panther disappeared into the shadows. And then they loved it. When he was up there at the table with Frank Martin fighting Javante, oh, they loved it. Ooh, they were so nice and warm inside. We get this finally put eyes on Spence. There he is next to Daddy James. We love it. Oh, we love this. We love it. And then the ones that was on site, they was just so happy to get Spence and ask them questions. And he really didn't even want to answer the question that they wanted to ask. We really didn't find out any information about when he was returning back to the ring for real. He wanted to say, no, but it's all about Frank Martin. Man, get out of here. Get out of here, man. I'm trying to goddamn get your fans back on board, yo. Because you showed your face. You did a little interviews or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think enough has been done with these individuals putting up thumbnails and doing live streams on Spence to keep his name relevant in the algorithm. But every time Crawford say something on X, or somebody want to bring up something that's going on with 154 pounds, they helping him build. They continue to help him prove his point. That every time he does something, y'all show love to the fighter. Y'all a fan, bro. Shout out to Caps in full G in the building. What's good with it, brother? With the $5 super chat on deck. He said, got to do the playback. Why Tank unify with Baranchik? Does the knees have a fight up? If not, why not Baranchik? That's a good question, but what I assumed originally is that Baranchik had the fight. Let me pull this up again. I could have sworn Baranchik had the fight coming up with William Cepeda. Let me look. I could have sworn that was the play. You know, matter of fact, before I do that, let me check something out right quick. I could have sworn that was the play. You know what I'm saying? No, William Cepeda has Tevin Farmer coming up. William Cepeda has Tevin Farmer up next. So let me go back over here to the rankings. Just to verify. Yeah, I thought Baranchik was going to fight William Cepeda. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know who he's going to fight right now. Keyshawn is number 3 up there at the WBO. And I don't want to see Zaur Abdulayev because I haven't really got over when he fought Devin Haney. And he still ain't nobody. Hey, Edwin De Los Santos is ranked behind Zaur Abdulayev, right? How do you get ranked behind Abdulayev? And George Kambosos is behind Abdulayev. And all them other cats, man, I care not to mention. But I think it's a good fight. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you why that fight is not happening. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't tell you why that fight is not happening, but I will do some research that um caps in full G, and I will get back to the people. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Caps in Full for the donation to the channel, my brother. I appreciate it. Shout out to the GO IOTBA boxing in the building. Salute to you, brother. Definitely check my guy out over there doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? On IOTBA Boxing Talk and the Spit Bucket Podcast, man. And everything else on the grounds, boots running. Man, check him out. You know what I'm saying? Hit the playback on the live he just did, talking about Devin Haney and, you know, his take on his lawsuit situation. You know what I'm saying? Definitely make your way over there. I appreciate you, bro, for supporting. Toby said, not JoJo, the wino. I heard it could be Hobo Sam. Hey, man, I'm just saying. I'm just saying that, Toby, for real. I'll say Spence abandoning boxing. You know, I'm just trying to find out without putting too much energy into Spence. You know, as you probably already know, Io, you know, there's, you know, the picture of all pictures of, you know, him in Texas, somewhere in Texas, you know, enjoying a nice, hearty, nutritional, I'm talking about nutritional facts, high as a motherfucker. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? And we talking about calories all the way up. You know how they say it's going to be up? When Spence walk in the restaurant, you know, it's going to be up. You know what I'm saying? But he seems like, just like my guy Trick said, it seems like Spence ate till he started to get tired and sleepy. Because you know how some people, they drink sweet tea with their breakfast too when they're in a restaurant. And you know what the sweet tea does with all that sugar, with all that that's going on in your body trying to break down that maple syrup on them pancakes and all that butter. You know what happened. That goddamn monkey be goddamn tap dancing on your ass. And you start to lose consciousness. And them eyelids start to float and shit. You saying, oh shit, god damn. You shaking your head trying to get that itis off you. I can't tell if Spence's eyes are open or closed in this picture because he got the goddamn aqua shades on. He got the aqua shades, bro. For real. The one thing I do see about Spence, I'm glad his hair, you know, his hair's grown out over time since that ass whooping. He's went out there and purchased some nice color shades. And I guess you need to do that if you're Spence, because he did call himself the big fish. You know what I'm saying? Aqua, big fish. I'm just putting it out there. Maybe he's getting in costume again. I don't know, but them some cool shades though. I like the lenses. I wouldn't wear them, but nice. And then give it up for Spence too. Motherfucker don't care. He said, I can fight at the end of the day. That must show up to a restaurant and they know it's Spence. And he got on a tank top. He ain't trying to hide a motherfucking thing. He don't care what the fans are saying, if he's in shape or not. Come on, man. Spence show up to breakfast in a tank, a white beater, bro. He don't give a fuck. Spence don't give a fuck. Spence say, God damn it. The only thing I care about right here in this picture is my motherfucking hands and fork. Golden said, W says, all this time, we all have been saying that Mel is a champion in recess for the WBC, but he is the champion in recess for the WBA. That's the title that Bud have. I mean, we thought initially he was the champion in recess for the WBC. But yeah, looking at, let me see, looking at the sanctioning bodies for 154 pounds, they do have Jamel Charlo, a champion in recess. But I could say this, OG. I look at it like this: how is he gonna, intervene when they're going for unification? I'm pretty sure unification at the end of the day, is different when it concerns a mandatory opposite of a champion in recess. I'm gonna be honest. I know a mandatory will have priority in my opinion. In this case, in my opinion, if they was up next, rather than a champion in recess. I don't know all the guidelines word for word about what is the priority status between a mandatory and a champion in recess. It's good to see him in the WBA. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Cool. If like I said before, I really don't want Terrence to fight Jamel Charlo though, because Jamel Charlo, he fought Canelo Alvarez last year. You know what I'm saying? And he would have been out the ring over a year to this date. Right as we right now, to this day, he's been out of the ring over a year. By the time he want to step back in there with Crawford, that shit's gonna be in 2025. And then all of a sudden, we're gonna get the old aerosexuals coming out their barrels and saying, you know what, it's not fair. Crawford's ducking male. Why? Well, they're going to try to run you back in history. He was a stablemate of Errol Spence when they was both in there unified at the same time. And they had Diddy James, the two-time coach of the year, trainer of the year, and all that. They start running down the way it used to be. That shit is gone. So you hyping up Jamel Charlo because he used to be in the same camp with Errol. Just because you're a Bud hater, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to do anything. You're going to get the same motherfucking Jamel Charlo who showed us that Noah Lyles don't have shit on his 12-round time. That motherfucker ran for 12 fucking rounds and then get knocked down and have a delayed reaction. Man, come on, man. Y'all actually think him being champion of recess matters? Man, Charlo get his ass beat by a 37-year-old Crawford. That's what I think. But I know it's going to be some aerosexuals that's coming up in his defense because he used to be stable mates with Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? That's all. Andrew Charles in the building. What it do, Andrew? How you feeling, man? Errol has man, I'm not looking at, his pectoralis like that. I'm not looking at it. I understand where you can make that assumption, Toby. see, Toby, you can get away with that. You know what I'm saying? You can get away with that. But if I was to say that he had man titties, I would have other, erotica, monkey loving, individuals comment that I'm up here paying too much attention to Errol Spence body composition. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? The monkey lovers that's trying to reproduce with monkeys to try something new. They think they're going to have a future motherfucking champion if they can only get it right. But the one thing that's fucked up with them, they just don't know that a male goddamn monkey can't get a male human pregnant. Andrew said the Spencerholics are too busy working pro bono for the Devin Haney YouTube legal team to be concerned about Errol. I know, right? He said the Devin Haney YouTube legal team. Hey, man, it was funny. They said up there, I got the whole lawsuit. Go to the Patreon. Hey, if you want to hear what's on the lawsuit, go to the Patreon. Pay for the Patreon. Man, anybody can access that goddamn lawsuit, really. There's so many people have that lawsuit out there, man. Come on. You got people on here. I got it in the Patreon like it's a secret. Hey man, I wish them nothing but the best. It's gonna tarnish, whatever he had planned. You know what I'm saying? And people looking at it like he have an opportunity to get some money back. Okay, y'all talking like it's already done. You know how boxing is. Boxing fans are some of the most unpredictable decision makers, man. They'll take a situation like this, even though it ain't no illegal shit, and they'll say, "Well, we expect you to return to the ring and take it out on Ryan, but you went to court instead after you was at the OC fair, getting your first opponent back out of the way. You was throwing punches at a fair worker, but then again, you want to take the one you was legally bonded to go in there and execute combat with. You want to take him to court because he had a small amount of ostarine in his system. Hey man, you're gonna have to prove those levels, yo. You're gonna have to prove those levels. Real talk. And I'm gonna give y'all little boxing fans a little hint that this ain't gonna be what you think. John Jones, a multi-time offender. Think about this now. No one sued John Jones. A multi-time offender, cocaine, peds, shit like that, right? Never got sued. When John Jones last time popping positive, he had to go before the commission to get his license back. Within that commission, he had his legal representation of those who was willing to explain how much of performance-enhancing drugs he had in his system. John Jones ultimately got changed or revised the way USADA did business, because time a fighter was popping dirty, they was making it public. Fighter popping dirty. But with John Jones was determined that his body was still flushing out those small picograms of the peds that he was taking, to the fact that he wasn't, taking peds, and the levels didn't change, but his body was still getting them out of his system. John ended up getting his license back to fight. John Jones was also fined $250,000. Now you take somebody who was determined, he had representation to break down how his body, everybody's body is different, according to what he was taking, and it was still being filtered out of his system, and also the levels for which he popped positive never elevated. So in that serious case, I think this is a more serious case than Ryan Garcia, because John Jones was a repeat offender and he had to pay the commission $250,000. Now, I just gave you that just a little bit, that tidbit. Okay. For people who think he's going to get 50 million and he's going to get 1 million, to him getting anything. If you think he's about to go over here and hit the bank with Ryan Garcia based off those small amounts of ostarine off a contaminated supplement, I don't think it's going to happen. And what you're going to do after you don't get your way, y'all going to go back and try to get a rematch with the only guy that's going to give you the money? You're messing it up. You can still survive. You can recover from this if you drop the lawsuit and start talking shit about going in there and say, I'd rather just go in there and beat him. Unless you don't have confidence that you can defeat Ryan, you should just go back in there, drop the lawsuit, go back in there and beat him clean. You was clean the first time. You was still the champion. Have a fight at 147. Both of you all will be more than, big enough, strong enough. Come on, man. Y'all want to go to court. Come on, man. You say you'll never lose to a white boy, and goddamn, you end up in court with a white attorney, a white suit, white socks, shoes, white shades, white paper, goddamn white pen, speaking white. Yes, Your Honor. Yes. I'm Devin Haney. Yes, the same boxer. Oh, why did my voice sound? This is my voice all the time, Your Honor. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Oh, my legal representation. Devin's gonna be up there sounding like a totally different person, man. Real talk. Errol Spence #1 in WBC. Yeah, Caps. We don't know how that's possible, but it's boxing at the end of the day. How can you lose your titles, but yet you're elevated? You're elevated to that position. It's politics. They have hope, just like the same thing that's going on with Joshua is somewhat what's going on with Spence. Joshua was able to get back in the ring, though. Spence, it's very, very difficult for him to get back in the ring. They want to continue to get some money out of Spence. They feel that his age, he still has something left. But they're just trying to pull him away from that Texas Southern breakfast. If they can get him from stopping in for Texas Southern breakfast every morning at 7, they might be able to goddamn get his weight down. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Spence had a lot of people fooled at that epilogue. I know a lot about nutrition now. When I see him eating that guap burger, man, I said that nigga ain't dropping no weight. That's why every time, look, tell me I'm lying. Every time you seen Spence eat that guap burger, they had a dim light in there. It had dim lights in that motherfucker. You see a Spence head go down and turn and eat that motherfucker like he eating a goddamn taco. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. They had people fooled up there eating them guap burgers. Them burgers in general will put weight on you with guap. That's all. It tastes very delicious. Went from I ain't ever gonna lose to suing for a battery. It's a wild story to be following. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a wild story because it just seems like, and it's something that Io mentioned earlier, is that it seems like Team Haney has just drifted off into the dark web. They have dipped off into the maw of darkness, y'all. Like I know Halloween coming up real quick. It seemed like they're in the shadows, nigga. For real. I'm like, where have they been? I seen Bill, sort of kind of, pop out here and there. But dude, y'all got to get y'all Kendrick on. You got to pop out and show them that ain't shit changed. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, Devin took the lead. And the first thing he was saying is, goddamn, I don't feel I should fight Ryan Garcia again because it's just not fair. It's not healthy. It's not something I want to put my life through. I've been damaged. I'm just damaged right now. I'm just going through so much. I can't sleep. I can't be around a lot of people, especially if they have an R in their name, a Y, an A, an N. It just seems like the wheel of fortune. It just beats me up so bad. I told my papa, I say, Papa, you don't mind if I sit 2 or 3 years out, do you? So they can forget about that beating. You know what I'm saying? I mean, goddamn, shawty. It's almost like they popped out, man. They went into the maw of darkness, man. And then when they come out, they say everything has to be right. What? It's already been drug tested in boxing. What more do you want? What do you mean everything has, he needs to tape one hand behind his back? What needs to be right? You want a rehydration now all of a sudden? You want to make sure, everything has to be right. Only I can come in 30 pounds overweight. I mean, I can only rehydrate 30 pounds over. What everything needs to be right. If you have drug testing, have drug testing. What else needs to be right? That's what I want to know. What else needs to be done to make this fight? Because you're not going to win a paycheck with the backstory that you have with Ryan Garcia by fighting anybody else, brother. And all these individuals believing that now we have YTC constituents. They're going through the YTC bar exam. For real. We got all these motherfuckers out here trying to break down all the legality of what's supposed to happen and how this will change the sport of boxing forever. Why are they doing that, y'all? Why are these cats up here acting like they taking the YTC bar exam on this bitch, man? They out there coming up with all this paperwork. Well, on page 4, it clearly states this: in violation of properties, therefore, calls to enhance the power within the opponent of subnamed fighter, and that fighter takes punishment, swelling, bruising, inflammation. Therefore, subnamed fighter can sue, take legal action for battery. Bro, he's suing for battery. He's suing for pain and suffering. God damn, shawty. This is just bad, man. It's just bad. Nobody's gonna sit here and explain to me that this is the way it's supposed to be. People making videos talking about, oh, they're shunning Devin for legal. No, I'm not shunning him for taking legal action. All I'm saying, boxing talk, it's better for you to take the momentum that you have. Not momentum. That's a bad choice of words. You need to take the energy that is been given to this fight, all the controversy that involved from the first fight, and take it into a rematch. Utilize that for the pay-per-view price so people can tune in, because now people are interested. They're curious to see if Ryan Garcia can go in here and beat you again, Devin, or if Devin can go in there and beat Ryan Garcia. They want to see. If you go in here, you look, in order for you to get your shit back on, you got to fight Ryan Garcia, bro. I know Ryan Garcia is on record as saying he's not going to give Devin the rematch. I get it. But both of y'all right now, more so Devin, because Ryan's going to get another fight regardless. But you, Devin, I hope you're not banking on a huge payday, a legal heist, so you can sit back and celebrate. I mean, you're not about to go up here and win $70 million like you T.I. and Tiny. You're not going to change the scope of boxing just because you believe that you can go in here and win a lawsuit. I'm not deterring you from that. All I'm saying, it would be better if you redirected that energy and fight Ryan Garcia and start building that shit up near the end of the year into the 2025, where y'all can sign the fight and y'all can be in fight camp and the fans can be anticipating y'all making it to the ring. Now, they're going to continue to say you're scared. They're going to continue to say that. That's all I'm saying. I'm for having a rematch at 147. The idea of Dev and Ryan in the welterweight division by itself is fire. That will inject some life in the division. Absolutely. I agree. Why not? They say it's a business. When is this hearing supposed to take place? We're wasting time because Ryan Garcia is suspended to next April. So you're telling me you're going to sit out all the way to next April thinking you're going to sue Ryan and then have a rematch with him? Or did somebody tell you go sue him and then it'll bring more interest to the rematch? I don't think so, man. I mean, if you're willing to have people hate you even more, maybe their angle, I don't know, I can't say that. Maybe their angle is to get people to consider them as the ultimate villain. Sue Ryan Garcia, no matter what happened. They have some plan, that this fight will build up momentum next year based off the lawsuit, and for them to fight at 147. But it has to be at 147. It can't be no motherfucking catch weight just to drain and see can Ryan Garcia. No, we don't want to see that. Both of y'all need to contend at 147. Period, bro. Shout out to my guy Swat Jones in the building with the $5 super chat, man. Salute to you. Much appreciated. One love, brother. I'm listening, driving, man. You cooking cap, salute. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate always supporting the channel. No doubt. You know what I'm saying? And that goes to everybody else that tunes in. Thanks for y'all supporting. We just have so many issues that we need to take care of, you know. And just like Andrew said, I'll love to see Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney fighting at 147. Just like he said, that will inject much needed life and resuscitate that division. Right now, that motherfucker, that shit is just like you got flickering light bulbs in that motherfucker, dog. Like they looking for signs of life. You can't wait to November. You can't wait to no goddamn Koran and Ennis. We can't wait, man. We need to get something popping. Who gonna be next? Tank and Roach, they don't supposed to fight to December. So everything is damn near at the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if Crawford and Fundora is gonna fight before the year out. Um, I'm not sure if Norman. I know it was out that Norman hurt his hand. I'm not sure if he's gonna be on the card. Who's gonna be the bigger fight? Bam is on Keyshawn's card. Keyshawn's card is in November. I'm trying to think. What the hell going on at 140 pounds? Did they get foreclosed on? Did somebody not pay the motherfucking mortgage? It seemed like when Esau Cruz went out there and beat Roller Romero, people felt some type of way about it. They was like, no. We need that special kid on deck. He makes us laugh. And then Esau Cruz beat him and then ended up getting beat by El Rayo. So I like El Rayo being the champion up there at 140. But who's going to fight him now? I wouldn't mind seeing Teofimo Lopez and El Rayo. I wouldn't mind seeing that. For real. I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. But it's like you don't know who the hell Tio is trying to fight. They busy up here clout chasing, but no ink is going on them contracts. No term sheets, anything. Like, shit. Alberto Puello, he's just not a popular fighter. I know he got a win over Gary Antoine Russell, but, I mean, he's now taking over Devin Haney's former belt. Matias is headed back in for whatever. You know what I'm saying? I thought he would be a long reigning champion for a while. I mean, it's slim pickings for real. It's slim pickings at the end of the day. Very slim. Very slim, man. We have to see what plays out, y'all. Be patient. We have to see what plays out. We have a handful of important topics that we have to see how it all plays out, especially with the Haney situation. Yeah, people talking about it, but we have to wait and see when the hearing and everything else. But if I had any input to give, I would say that rematch has built up enough controversy to happen, and people want to check it out and see who's gonna lose that fight. It's because there's so much shit that has happened between these two. Why wouldn't y'all have a rematch? Y'all, if you all understand, I want to say that. If y'all don't take full advantage of this, especially you, Devin, because Ryan, like I said, is going to get a fight, it's not smart at all. Because you're not going to make any type of money close to what you would get with Ryan fighting anybody else. You're not going to make it, even though you move up to 147, you're not going to make that money fighting Barrios, Stanthionis. I don't see you challenging Ennis or even freaking Norman Jr. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Hey, but shout out to the hottest chat in the game, man. And let me tell y'all this, man. If you see Spence out there in Texas and saying he leave all that food on the table, if you're running low on funds, man. All I'm saying, man, you might want to grab it, man. You get a 10-course meal if you goddamn packed up that shit and bounce. If they leave all that food on the table, man, you better take advantage of that, man, for real. Cause you know Spence buying that premium freaking breakfast. Okay? Remember I told you, take full advantage of it. Throw that shit in the bag and eat it in the car. That's premium shit he leaving on that motherfucker. But man, hey, shout out to the hottest chat in the MF game. We should do it again. And continue to support the channel, man. You already know. Peace. I'm out.